Everyone, good morning. We are back this week with you for our podcast Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So we start a new week. I'm with my colleague Sylvain. So on Monday and Tuesday, you guys know that we are getting ourselves inspired with the book The Six Pillar of Self-Esteem from Nathaniel Brandon to build our podcast. And we have made a lot of, let's say, journey since the beginning, but what we are covering today is still in the part of how can we build and sustain self-esteem at work. So no matter that you are an employee, a manager, an entrepreneur, or you're looking at a new job, well, the world is actually pretty much different today. The world of work demands much more than what it was. So it's not longer only a technical expertise that you have to develop. You need to have creativity, agility, and the capacity of constant learning, the ability to work with others. So really, right now, we have moved from an economy of knowledge, but we've get to an economy of ability and knowing how can we become always better into our work. So I'm going to bring back Sylvain a little bit later into the podcast. He's going to share with us a technique and how actually in environment we can make feel better. So see you a little bit later, Sylvain. Okay, so in our chapter, as I said, okay, we are seeing and we've covered that there is a global competitiveness right now and the entrepreneurial spirit, and it has a shift. Okay, so right now, the question that we need to ask is what does this concretely demand, okay, of the world changing, of individual and organization? So how those domains are actually on the shoulder of the people in organization right now. So we are going to look at two things today. We are going to look at what are the challenge in the environment, the work environment right now, and also how can we as team leader and especially in an MLM while we're building our team, how can we make people feel better? But I just want to do a quick summary of what we've covered previously. So we've seen that in the face of competition, rigid company, remember the example that I gave you, Kodak and Blockbuster, they sank, okay? They did not adapt to survive. Okay, so it's really on their entrepreneurial mindset. So they didn't have the confidence, yes, to take some risk and to think independently. Okay, and this is what bring them to close and did not exist anymore. Okay, so we really need to understand that that mindset is kind of a software. We need to update it all the time. Okay, so let's dive into our first section that is about the challenge. Okay, so the challenge here are not just like small obstacle. Okay, the way that the author describe those paradigm. Let's remember this book has been written in the 1990s, and still today it's like the same challenge. So it shows that we still need to adapt ourselves. Okay, so that shift, okay, is what the economy expect from us. Okay, it's to go from autopilot to really own your own mind and to think. So here is the first challenge. The first one is lifelong learning. Okay, so it's a mindset and not a training course. So the first challenge is to commit to a lifelong learning. Okay, it's not anymore an option or a bonus. It's something that we need to have. Okay, so as you can see with the AI, there is an explosive growth of knowledge, okay, that make it mandatory to continually adapt yourself. So why it is difficult for people, okay? Learning, okay, the process of learning is accepting that you did not know something. And it's hard, especially today, because the way that we see, especially on social media, people that they look perfect, they want to be perfect, the way that they present themselves. But this has impact the way that people learn. So when you learn and you tell yourself, okay, I don't know that, you may think that you look like a fool on the eyes of other people. But no, on the contrary, it's really an act of courage. Okay, it's to adapt a posture of humility and curiosity in the face of something that you don't understand. So that act of courage depends directly on your self-esteem. So it means that if you don't have that self-esteem, you will always try to look perfect and always try to look that you have the answer instead of saying, I don't know that. Okay, it takes a lot of humility to do that. So a person with low self-esteem may see learning as a threat. Okay, so if I learned this, I prove that I wasn't competent before or I look stupid. So just think of right now in the technological environment, a developer who refused to learn program. Let's say that they were still programming in Java. Okay, so for those who had a little bit of knowledge in that section, Java was kind of the first language that appeared that was able to create some kind of flickering light on web page. It has evolved to HTML5 like a couple years ago, and today I don't know. Like I don't know what it is. Like it has evolved so much. So just think of somebody that was stuck in the 1990s in JavaScript. Like it's for sure that it won't be up to date. But on the other side, let's just think of the way people are using now program like a content. Like they see that now there's a lot of automation that can be done, data analysis that they are using some app to do it. So it really depends on where their self-esteem are, and that self-esteem will allow them to see learning as a self-expansion and not a condemnation of I don't know it and I can't evolve. So this is the first challenge, lifelong learning. The second one, effective collaboration. So here it's really about the relational intelligence, and this is what we call some of the supreme skill. So what is that challenge of collaboration? So working effectively with other. So the author Nathaniel goes very far in that segment. Okay, he said, okay, he talks about written and oral communication skills. And I've seen a reels maybe like a couple weeks ago, and the guy in the reels said somebody that talks better, like in a better way, even if he's less competent than somebody else. I send you that reel on TikTok, Sylvain. Okay, yes, I remember. It's that Asian guy. Okay, I really love him. He expressed himself so greatly, and he said somebody that has better communication skills, especially at oral, even if he's less qualified than somebody else that is very technical knowledge savant, will have a better job and upgrade in his life. So it is so important in our days. Okay. So also there is the non-adversarial relationship, consensus building, and leadership. So really here, it's what we call the B skill, the soft skill. It's not only about what you know and what you do. It's really about who you are, okay? And those characteristics that are critical. So why it is difficult for people? Okay, because collaborating is exposing yourself. You expose your idea to other, to the judgment, to negotiation sometimes, and even to get to the point of conceding something. So a person that is lacking self-esteem, okay, will either make themselves too small and always say, well, here is what I think, but it doesn't matter if you don't take my idea like in consideration, okay? And on the opposite, you have people that become rigid and aggressive and say, this is how it should be. Those are the two extreme. But remember, collaboration is in the center. Okay. And in the book, they give us like a great idea. Okay. He said that communication sabotage, okay, is sabotage by low self-esteem. So as I just gave you, like somebody that is sharing his idea with uncertainty and say, I think that, okay, or he apologized before speaking. He have nervous laugh, okay. Those are signs that somebody people don't feel as confident and don't have that level of self-esteem that will help them say, okay, here's my idea. Let me explain to you and see how can we like share our vision and work together on something bigger. The challenge number three, okay, it's about managing change. It's the ability to let go of the known. So what is the challenge? Is managing and responding appropriately to change. Okay, it's the skill of agility, resilience in the face of unexpected. If I can like give you one example for that challenge, I will say the journey of Tupperware in 2025 or since like the event of the bankruptcy that has been really challenging, and people that are still there are resilient, okay, in the face of the unknown, okay, and even in the face of something that they thought that they know that was completely different. So our human brain loves routine, it loves predictability, and when we are facing change, we activate our alarm system. We are dealing with somebody that requires, okay, and that are facing our inner insecurity and security. So a high self-esteem, okay, will actually anchor you and allow you to say, okay, in the face, I faced challenge before, I can handle this now. Okay, so it doesn't matter what it is, I can learn. And I think that is one of the great ability of Maria, that she always been able like to surround herself with people that have experience, that are young, that have like gone through some challenges, and like look at what is happening like on the ground on the sales force and really get inspired and like anchor herself just to say we've handled something. Okay, it's different now, but if we've done it, we can do it again. Okay, so it's exactly the same mechanism as the example that I gave a few podcasts ago of Kodak and Blockbuster. Okay, so if you're rigid, obviously you won't be able to evolve. You need to say, yes, I've done it. What can I learn from it, and what can I adapt in the new world of today? And finally, the fourth challenge is thinking for yourself. Okay, the way that the author explained that challenge is really about the innovation. Okay, and this is the hardest part. Okay, cultivating the ability to think for yourself and not thinking about what other people will think of you. So the author is categorical. Okay, without this, thinking for yourself, innovation is impossible. So why it is hard for people? Thinking for yourself is trusting your own judgment. It means that you trust what you do and you have that instinct. It could be wrong, but it doesn't matter. You still try it, okay? It's accepting, mon Dieu. It's accepting, don't laugh at me, okay? It's accepting the risk of being wrong alone and not just following the group. Okay, remember the example of the shepherd and the sheep. Okay, a shepherd sometimes can be wrong. Okay, so it requires an intellectual autonomy. Okay, this is the fruit of mature self-esteem. So somebody that have that self-esteem will be able to say, let's go this way, this is my vision, and can be completely wrong, but it doesn't matter because it can say right after, I was wrong. Let's go on the other way. Okay. So one of the example is a company that truly wants to innovate. Okay. But must tolerate, even encourage positive, sometimes things that are, let's say, deviant. Okay. So when you ask uncomfortable questions, when you sometimes confront people or you propose a different path, okay, sometimes people can emerge from that and can lead you in totally a new way. And we have experienced that, Okay, since my beginning in the business at Tupperware, I did remember I started one way in 2016. And in 2018, we started integrate the Facebook party. In 2019, we started integrating like the big party, okay, that we were cooking 6 recipe, bringing 2 microwave, and then arrived the COVID. We have people that completely challenge us the way that we were doing. And I think that right now, I don't know if you will be a um, en accord. Like agree with that, Sylvain. I think that we need somebody in Les Diamants that will completely bring a new way of doing things in our business that will bring us to the next level. But this can only be done if we have an environment where people can progress. People can share their idea. People will feel good. And this is what Sylvain will bring to you today. How in an environment we can actually be sure that people, okay, that we are bringing out the best of them. So I'll let you share the subject.
Thank you, Jean-Philippe. And because you said that, I say, oh my God, this is so good because you remind me something. So remember when I started, so people, let's say we are doing a Tupperware party. So we say, okay, we are going to offer you the kit only if you do a Tupperware party. Okay, so people we start to doing this, and then sometimes we had some cancellation. So now we say, okay, you know what? So one lady came, and her name was, oh my God, Suzy Villeneuve. Suzy Villeneuve. So she was famous in Quebec because she did Star Academy, and she joined Tupperware in Annie Marchand organization. And her strategy was to sell the kit at the party. So, and she were ordering the kit before the party. So that way, so people they don't cancel their party because we have the kit and we have to give them the kit. So let's say they say, okay, I'm going to cancel, but I'm gonna reschedule it because I'm having your kit. So that was a strategy that helped us to grow, okay, because it helps us to be creative and make sure that it's an idea that everyone can apply. So that was something that, oh my God, we never see, we never experience, and it helped us in to increase our business. Okay, yes. So I'm going to give you some tips that yes, we can help with the help of our, let's say, employee or a part of the organization. They can master their job. So if people they have access to information, so we let's say we recruit new people, okay, so they need information, okay, so our goal is to invite them, let's say, at the welcome class. When they are at the welcome class, they are going to learn where to find the information, because in motivation without information equal frustration. I don't know if it's from Maria or from a book, probably from a book, but it's so true. Okay, can you imagine you have so much motivation but you don't know where to start, you don't know anything, and you need to understand where you are going to find the information. When I was an internal, it was the same. You have motivation, but you don't know where to start. So you need someone who's going to show you how to start. Where are the rules? Okay, what you can do and what you cannot do. So our role for our recruit is to show, to explain them the commission, let's say, okay, how it's going to work for commission. Make sure they have their pay quicker link activate, so that way if they sell product in the first 3 4 days, so they are going to receive a commission. um, let's say we are doing your customer ordering something, so of course you're going to tell them that about delivery, okay, so when we were in COVID and we had like 8 weeks of delivery, so we don't have to say, okay, wait for your order. No, you have to be specified. Okay, right now it's a very long process. it could be up to 8, 12 weeks. Okay, but now it's very quick. So last week I ordered and I received in the same week my orders. I was surprised. And Doug yesterday said, okay, wait, you didn't see because we are going to improve. And probably one day we can have, let's say, in 2 or 3 days, we can receive our product. Okay. So that make sure that we are going to let them know, okay, the rules and everything that where they can find the information. So this is so important. Another point, it's appropriate authority. Okay, so we have to give real power for people to take their decision. So I didn't have like a story in the MLM, but when you work at school, okay, you need to take your own decision. Okay, so as a teacher, you take your own decision. You don't always have to ask your principal, okay, about this. If you work in an office, okay, you can have the power to take decision and don't always ask for three signature to buy something. Okay, so this is what people want. They want to have appropriate authority to make sure that it's going to work. So for Tupperware, let's say they offer O's gift when you have an order of $325, let's say, okay? But you can give, this is your call. You can give something when they order $100 or something. So you have that latitude that you can act in that, so you don't always have to ask permission. Okay, you decide this is your business and how you are going to recruit and how you are going to sell, so you have that power. Okay, number three, people love clear rules. So clear rules helps you to recruit, let's say, ethically. Okay, we need rules to we know what we can do on social media and what we cannot do. Okay, and we know how we can earn money, and we have to act according to those rules. And sometimes we are on the border of the rules, but it's good to make sure that you understand how you can navigate through those rules. And my last point for today, it's problem solve close to the field. So this is so important. And that reminds me at school. So when my first year was when I was a teacher, we had a principal, okay, and she arrived let's say at 10:30 in the morning at office because she was living in the suburbs. Okay, so that doesn't make sense because we start school at 8 and we need someone when we need a quick fix or a question. Oh no, the principal is in the traffic. Is going to come at 10 or 10:30. So that doesn't work. Okay, so they she doesn't survive all the year, so they replace her, and we had another guy, and he was there, let's say at 7:15, 7:30. So between 7:30 and starting at 8, you have a lot to when you are in charge of a school, a lot of problems that you are going to encounter during those times. So you need someone on the field to answer the problem on the field. Okay, so this is so important because otherwise it doesn't work. Okay, so for me, Maria, it's that kind of leader. Okay, so she was not on her throne and telling us what to do. She was on the field, she was on the trench. She did a Tupperware party, let's say for me. For our new recruits, she's going to with people to show them how to do it. So we always say show them, don't tell them. So this is why we have to have people on the field. Okay, we are not désuet. I don't know how to do it, but you have to be up to date. You need to understand that if you want to train people, you have to be on the field. So thank you for listening to us today. So tomorrow we're gonna continue the list and give you more example. So let's say we're gonna see you tomorrow. Bye.